Stocks breathe a sigh of relief. Hey everyone, remember that trade war that's been looming over our heads like a giant economy-crushing meteor? Well, good news, it's been temporarily postponed. The US and China called a truce. Think of it as a timeout for economic superpowers. This trade war has been going on for what feels like forever. It's been a wild ride of tariffs and threats back and forth like a really expensive game of ping pong. But this truce? It's like someone finally hit the pause button, and guess what? The stock market is stoked. Like, really stoked. It's like they just found out the free snacks in the break room were actually gourmet cheese and charcuterie. More on that later. Okay, so let's break down this truce. Basically, the US and China decided to hit the undo button on some of those hefty tariffs they slapped on each other's goods. These tariffs were not just a minor inconvenience, they were significantly impacting businesses and consumers on both sides of the Pacific. Remember those? They were getting out of hand, kind of like that time I tried to make a multi-tiered wedding cake. It was a disaster, with frosting everywhere and layers collapsing. That's how chaotic the trade situation was becoming. The US is lowering its tariffs on Chinese goods. This move is expected to ease the financial burden on American importers and, ultimately, consumers. We're talking a big drop from a whopping 145% down to a slightly less whopping 30%. This reduction is a significant step towards de-escalating the trade war. China's getting in on the action too, cutting their tariffs on US goods from 125% to a cool 10%. This is a huge relief for American exporters who have been struggling to compete in the Chinese market. It's like a clearance sale for international trade. Both countries are slashing prices to make their goods more attractive to each other, but here's the catch. This truce is only for 90 days. That's right, it's a temporary measure to buy some time. It's like a trial separation for countries. They're taking a break to see if they can work things out without the pressure of ongoing tariffs. During that time, they'll try to hammer out a longer-term deal. Negotiators will be working around the clock to find common ground and avoid another trade war. Will they succeed? Who knows? The stakes are high and the outcome is uncertain. It's international diplomacy, which is about as predictable as a cat in a room full of laser pointers. One moment, everything seems under control, and the next, chaos ensues. Now, let's talk about that stock market party I mentioned earlier. It was a day of jubilation and high spirits on Wall Street. Investors were doing the happy dance when they heard about the truce. The atmosphere was electric, with cheers echoing through the trading floors and offices. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is like the stock market's popularity score, jumped over 1,000 points. This was one of the biggest single-day gains in recent history. That's a lot of points. It was a clear sign that investors were feeling optimistic. The S&P 500, another big-shot stock market index, shot up nearly 3%. This index tracks the performance of 500 large companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States. And the Nasdaq, which is basically the cool kids table of the stock market, think tech companies, surged by about 4%. This was great news for tech giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon. It was like everyone on Wall Street was suddenly handed a winning lottery ticket. The celebrations were in full swing with confetti and sparkling grape juice flowing. Tech stocks, especially those that rely on Chinese imports like Nvidia and Amazon, were basically doing victory laps. These companies had been under pressure due to the trade tensions. They'd been hit hard by the trade war, so this truce was like a breath of fresh air. Investors could finally relax a bit, knowing that the worst might be over. Or maybe a giant tank of oxygen, considering how quickly they bounced back. The relief was palpable, and the market's rapid rebound was a testament to that. Section 4, Trump Dealmaker or Tweeter-in-Chief. This time it might be both. Now, we can't talk about this trade truce without mentioning the man who loves a good deal and a good tweet more than anyone, President Trump. He's been all over this trade war from the start, using tariffs like they're going out of style. This truce is a pretty big win for Trump. It shows that maybe, just maybe, all that tough talk wasn't just for show. He's been getting hammered lately for the trade war's impact on the economy, so this truce is like a get-out-of-jail-free card. At least for now. Don't be surprised if you see a certain someone taking a victory lap on Twitter, claiming this as the biggest, bestest trade deal in the history of trade deals. Because let's face it, that's kind of his thing. Section 5. What's next? Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride, so the trade war is on hold for now. Everyone's breathing a sigh of relief. The markets are reacting positively and there's a sense of cautious optimism in the air. But don't get too comfortable. But hold on to your hats, folks, because this roller coaster ride isn't over yet. The ups and downs are far from finished, and the next twist could be just around the corner. Remember that 90-day deadline? Yeah, that's ticking away. Every second counts, and the pressure is mounting as we inch closer to that critical date. The US and China still have a lot to figure out if they want to make this truce stick. Negotiations are complex and both sides have their own agendas and priorities. And let's be real, these are two countries with very different ideas about how the world should work. Their economic philosophies and political systems are worlds apart, making compromise a challenging task. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, for starters, don't go investing your life savings just yet. The situation is still fluid and the risks are high. This truce is great news, but it's just the first step in a very long and complicated dance. There will be many more negotiations, and each one will bring its own set of challenges and opportunities. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The headlines will keep coming and the developments will continue to unfold, and in the meantime, maybe stock up on popcorn, just in case things get interesting again. Because if there's one thing we can count on, it's that this saga will keep us all on the edge of our seats.